Hello, everyone. It is Rory and Molly here at that Eurovision site, Eurovision with a slice of life. Festivali Këngës is finally over, and we have a winner. It is Alice with Nan. We're going to talk all about this selection, what we thought about the songs, what we thought about the interval acts, all that kind of stuff, and whether or not Albania has a chance to do well at Eurovision itself. So let's just get straight into it. Just as a little recap, we had Festivali Këngës, the 64th edition of the show, taking place on the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th of December in 2025. And obviously, we had, I think, 28 different songs that were taking part. It was quite a lot. But it was luckily spread out over the course of 4 days, which is fantastic. We love to have that. Just a little bit of a break from everything. And yeah, it seemed like it was very, very intense. There was some really, really good songs there. And yeah, Alice came out on top. And it seemed like he was quite the
Mm.
fan favorite already. I mean, you could tell that even from the
Oh
results.
yeah.
So yeah, what was your sort of impression based on, like the all of the songs, like all of the show? What was your sort of impression after watching the show?
I think there's a bit of a shift in the style of Festivali Congress that's come in since last year. And there's a lot more sort of like pop heavy, kind of like dramatic, it's like Albanian, but like a mix of like this sort of pop sort of finesse. And I'm kind of seeing a mix of what was there with Sherm in some of them, and then kind of like some of them where it's like Carnival, and then some of them are like if Sherm and Carnival had a child. like there's definitely the influence of Sherm, which I'm glad to see. I love to see when um there's influence from what has done well previously. Being like Germ, and then also some influence from other places. I think I'll get into the carnival influence when we get to Innis. But yeah, and I feel the my only critique is I don't know if always the staging is well adapted for the ch new change coming in. Sometimes I have this issue with San Remo as well, is that they're both like very traditional stages, and I'm like, if you have more of like a pop heavy influence instead of more of that classical thing, then like I'm like, okay, is there enough here for the staging to kind of work and show its impact? I don't think this was a problem with some songs, like we'll get to with the winner, but I feel like with others, for example, Innis, that we and also like other dance heavy ones as well, like was it Gift? Okay.
Okay,
Gift?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That one as well, I think had this issue with staging. But it's a weird one between like tradition versus like practicality. Like I don't sorry, I'm yapping, but I don't want
No.
Albania to change their style entirely to the point to fit like a new sort of like trend and be like everything else, but I also want it to be able to accommodate for like a rising style if that you get
Yeah, I get that. I mean, for me, it was very obvious to see that a lot of artists were definitely inspired by Shkodra Elektronike and maybe a little bit from Elvana, but I mean, Elvana is just such a big name in the Albanian music industry anyway. I'm sure that people would probably be sort of, attracted or inspired by her anyway. So. But I was kind of surprised at the amount of sort of electronic music we had this year. I mean, typically Festivali Këngës is kind of similar to Festival de Cansal, like in the way that some people just kind of see it as being a bit stuffy. And it's a bit
mm,
like, oh, not many people like it because it seems very old, it's full of slow songs, it's full of ballads, all that kind of stuff. And we did get ballads. There was no denying we definitely got some ballads this year. But we also did get a lot of stuff that was a lot more electronic. We did see some stuff that was a bit more upbeat. So you could tell that there was this kind of balance, I think. There was a lot more of it, like it wasn't just catering to one style, which is actually quite nice, to be honest. I was really
mm,
enjoying that. Um, I think the staging was actually some of the one of the best stages that we've had from
yeah.
Fick for a very long time. I
Mm,
think, having the backing singers on the back on the top of these huge
yeah.
plinths and stuff, I thought that
Mm,
was really interesting. But like you said, it's like it is hard to kind of balance like more upbeat songs, for example, when you have an entire orchestra there. But that's the whole point of having,
Yeah,
FiK.
I
It's
feel
based
I
after,
feel like
yeah.
the orchestra works really well, and I wish we had that in more national finals. I think that's and also in Eurovision, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
Um, like I feel like if there's one thing I'd never want like FiK or Sandemo to take away would be that orchestra because that's such a part of their identity, and most songs work with it very well anyways, even if it's like pop and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that last year, We saw like so many songs actually benefited really well from having like live orchestras play there. And like this year as well, there was definitely a lot of that. It really amped up the dramatic feel of a lot of these places. So yeah, no, definitely. I think it was really good on that front. Yeah, and I think in general, like Albania can be happy in the fact that they had a really good show this year. And
Hmm.
it didn't massively overrun as well, which is actually something really nice, and we'll get
Yeah.
to cough cough Moldova. Um, I think they can be proud in the sense that they've managed to do something like that. So yeah, I'm very, very happy that they managed to keep it to at least within a consistent amount of
Yeah.
time, which is
The only
fantastic.
thing was the Albanian ads just go like long
Well, this
Albania.
is the thing. I mean, if you've never watched Fic before, it is an experience. So,
Yeah.
it's always fun like that. That's the beauty of watching national finals,
Oh,
that you get to see what's
definitely.
what's going on in other
Oh,
countries and how their ads
100%.
are,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, and so I guess yeah, let's talk then a little bit about the winning song. Let's talk about Alice and Nan. I
Mm.
mean, what is your opinion of it? Did you like the fact that it win? How do you think it was staged? Do you think it was a good choice?
Oh, I think it was a great choice. True winner. I think as much as I love Innes, I don't think she would have been able, I think she would have blended in too much with the competition of Eurovision and probably got swallowed in by it all, I feel. Whereas I feel Nan like stands out in like a big way. Like and I when I watched it, this is a big compliment. It reminded me something that would fit right into like a Hans Zimmer kind of like
Okay.
catalog. That's kind of how I felt because it was like like something I'd hear in like Prince of Egypt or something like that. It was like,
Mm,
and it worked so well with the fixed staging, and I think it could be adapted so much easily over to the Eurovision staging as well. Like the way they used lighting, the like everything emphasized the song, but it didn't like take away from the vocal quality that Alice had. And I think at the end of the day, I think it was just really stand out. And I'm glad in a way that it did win overall.
mm.
Yes, it is very like typical Albanian, like, dramatic song, but like, it also I think that's a good thing 'cause it also pushes across like the Albanian culture and things like that, which we always need to, I always prefer with Eurovision songs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, I think Albania is one of these places. It's very much like Malta in the sense where, like, you just know that they can sing there. Like, they just have really good vocalists there. And I mean,
Mm.
you could hear that with Alice. It was very obvious that he knows how to command a stage. You know how he can just, like, give these sort of like huge belting like notes and everything, and it just sounds so good. Like, of course, how could you like not appreciate that? So yeah, I understand like that kind of thing. For me, it was not my favorite song.
Mm.
As far as I can remember, within the sort of test rankings that we had, I had it, I think, second last. So yeah, I was not particularly happy that it was going in as a favorite. But I knew that because like Alice had gone to FIC last year and was already quite well known and was already quite well established, and people really wanted him to win. But there was obviously two better songs that were sort of already in the mix. So I was expecting that he was going to do well anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's a perfectly fine song. I think over time I'll probably grow to like it anyway, just because that usually just happens. The more exposed you are to a Eurovision song or in any kind of song, you
Mm.
just end up kind of humming it whether you like it or not. So yeah, I appreciated that. His voice is fantastic. I think the staging
Mm,
had really good ideas. I think some bits can easily be changed and obviously and adapted so that it can be scaled up towards like a Eurovision's performance. Obviously, because you have a bigger stage, you have a lot more options to kind of do different things. Um, yeah, the one thing though, I always think it's so true. I keep thinking that there's a part of this song that sounds a little bit like a prayer by Madonna. And I'm a little
I
bit like,
see it.
okay.
Yeah, I can see it a little bit. Yeah,
It's in the chorus, basically, whereas he's like,
yeah.
na 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 na.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in like a prayer, it's like, life is a
Yes,
mystery.
actually, yes. I didn't see that until you mentioned it.
See what I mean? Like, so
Yeah,
whenever he's singing that, I just
yeah.
sing the lyrics of like a prayer. So
No, I get it.
I'm not claiming plagiarism or anything like that. I'm just saying that they sound
It's
very
similar.
similar,
Yeah.
and that's where my mind goes.
Mm.
So yeah, but yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how he kind of brings his sort of performance and his visuals to Vienna. It'll be interesting to see how things will go for that. But yeah, let's also talk about then the other songs that were taking part. Obviously, you've kind of mentioned that you did like Innis, but what were some of the songs that you really grew to like over the course of this show?
I think I really liked Okay. I forgot the name of the artist for that one,
Gitti.
but Giddy. Yes, I liked that song. It's just I think the staging let it down like a lot. I think she needed more to that one, but the song was really catchy, and I think having that audience interaction really helped it. And then the one I really liked on first listen, but the performance was a bit, I wish there was more, was Sheila's one.
Mm,
I think that one, like, vocally was a little bit like, oh, okay. I don't know how I feel about this one. I was very much like you with Nan when it comes to this one. I was like, like I listened to it on the studio and I adored it, and then live I was like, okay, I don't know how I feel. And then Riri and what was the guy's name?
it was
Fifi, yes.
Fifi and Titty
Yeah, that one.
with
I
Ree.
like, yeah, I liked that one. I think that one was really good. Like, I love the dramatic, like, Albanian thing. I think that's why I liked Nan so much. Like, I loved all, like, the dramatic, like, could fit in a drama end of it,
Yeah.
like action scene kind of type of ones. That's why I said to adore thick. But, and then I think there was one with the outfit. I forgot her name. I'm just gonna, yeah. She had like a really extravagant kind of head thing and outfit. I forgot the name.
Oh, I can't
Brie,
remember.
but yeah, no, forgot. But some of these I'm like, I remember, but I don't know the name.
I mean, there were so many of them.
I
Like
know.
in the final, there was 23 out of a possible 28. So,
Um, but there was, I think those are the highlights as well. There was probably some others that I really liked that have just gone over my head name wise. But those were pretty much the highlights, and also Innis as well. But I think there were some that were like really good on studio, and then I'd listen to them live and I'm like, ah, right.
yeah. It's hard to do for a thing like that because obviously a studio version can be
Yeah.
edited and it can be like
Mm,
all those kind of things. But that's the kind of the beauty of
yeah,
watching a
no.
national selection live is because
Mm,
sometimes the live performance it kind of shows how much of a studio artist someone can
yeah.
be, you know. Yeah, I mean for me, my favorite was Sheila.
Mm,
She was like going into this was the only song that I actually like put on my playlist
yeah.
because it was a really good song. I thought it was this kind of tropical house meets kind of dark Albanian kind of energy. I was thinking, okay, there's lots of good stuff here, and
Mm,
it's fresh and it's great. Then we get to the show, and
yes.
it's in as loving way as I can say this to Shayla, in case she's ever watching it. It was a car crash, but in the best way.
In the
Um,
best sort of
yeah,
way.
the vocal performance was there. Uh, the staging was good. Like the staging had
Mm,
good ideas.
Yeah.
even though there was like while we were watching the final, there was quite a lot of people who were watching it along with us within the TES HQ, and we were like just doing it on a voice call, and we were watching what was going on. And when Shayla came on with the whole like dead bird like next to her, we were all just
Yeah.
like, why is she like
What is going
Blackbird?
on?
Like Norma John, is that you? Um, like it was very chaotic, but I was very happy that she came third because
Mm.
in our ranking, Shayla was like a lot lower, and I was like, at least I
Yeah.
feel validated in liking that song, so it's good. Um, Other ones I liked, I think Albanian Heart was also one that I did really like.
Yes, that was another one I kind of liked as well.
Yeah,
That one was kind of good.
it's just you can tell that it was written for Eurovision. You can
Yeah.
tell because
That
obviously it's in English, Albanian, French, like it has Eurovision written all over it. You know what I
I feel
mean?
like that and Viva Moldova would be besties at this point if that got
Probably,
through. Yeah.
probably, yeah. I could see that. So yeah, so I'd have been intrigued to see how that would go if that
Mm.
actually did go to Eurovision. But I think maybe Albania's just needing to take a little bit of a break from the pop girlies at the moment, which is,
Yeah.
to be honest, fair enough because I would
We
like
had
something a little bit different. So
so many pop girlies in this one. So
yeah,
many.
yeah. So that was a bit chaotic. So yeah, but that it was a good song. We really enjoyed that. I also really liked as well Sarah Capo to do a Shum. I think
Mm.
that one it had like a feeling of like Aiko in the sense that it was just very kind of punchy, a little bit kind of
Yeah.
like fuck men and all this kind of thing. So like and that I like love that because we don't
Mm.
get that kind of style
Yeah,
of
no.
rock from Albania, especially from
Mm.
women in Albania. So I was
Oh
really
yeah.
happy that that kind of changed things a little bit. Yeah, and I think overall, like I was happy with how the show went. Not all of the songs were my favorites, but the ones that I did like, I really liked. So that was really good to see. Um, and then also, I guess, just sort of, what do you think of the overall package of the show? What did you think of Arilena and the male host whose name escapes me right now? Like the whole overall show.
I think before we get to overall show, I'm going to discuss the elephant in the room being Innes. I feel like it was really good, her performance, but the vocals, and I've got to understand that her shoe did fall off in the semi-final, apparently. In the
She did
final,
well.
I think she did really well for what she had. I think it's difficult because I think Nan was so like strongly Albanian that I feel like be like a lot of the pop girlies tend to sort of like falter when it comes to fic in a sense of when there's like a really strong like Albanian kind of we saw this with Germ in like the previous year. So it kind of tends to become a thing. So she did really, really well, I think. But sadly, I think Nan just had like the over better sort of staging and package and everything. The staging I felt with Innes's one just wasn't fully there, I feel. It was incomplete package when it comes to staging wise. Anyway, the overall context, there we go. Um, really good. I think the host did really well as well. And I think the segments were like super dragged on. San Remo. But the the hosts were really good, I feel, and I feel like the songs overall were just very a nice mix of things. We're starting to see a nice mix. I would like a mix of more like a little bit more kind of less super super pop heavy. I hope we don't go over to the other end next year because like we have so many less ballads and more like the techno thing. So
Yeah.
let's keep the balance.
Yeah, we need a balance of a little bit, please. Like a
Yeah,
balance of ballads, please. That'd be good.
yeah.
Yeah. I think the show overall was really good. I liked Arilena. She had more fun. It seemed like she was enjoying
Mm,
things a bit more than the male host.
yeah.
Um I think as well, I think in terms for our interval act that we had over the course of the show, we had some, Eurovision connections. Obviously, we had Tommy Cash
Yeah.
and we also had Gala Drago, who had, if you don't know, she tried to go to Eurovision for Belgium in 2023 with a very good song. But this one, she was doing like a song about like being in love with like an incel, but you're like a femcel. It's just like it was a very weird like spoken thing.
It's like, what is this?
She was scoffing paint and cake and stuff like that. It was a very weird performance, definitely.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, and then obviously Shkodra coming out like singing Zierm and as well as Phosphoron, like
Oh,
oh my God,
it was
absolute.
so
It was
good.
amazing. We love to see them.
Yeah.
Like they're amazing for everything that they do. So yeah, so that was really good. I mean, the one thing I have to also bring up is just the fact that like it seems at one point in the final that there was like a streaker or there was like some kind of intruder on the stage or
Yeah, I saw
something.
about that. I feel like they handled that really well with what they had to do, but oh gosh.
But the problem is we don't necessarily know if was that scripted or not because this was the final.
Yeah,
This had Tommy Cash in
no.
it. Who is to say that that could have been
Exactly.
him that could have been doing this? I'm not making
Like,
allegations, but I'm just saying
yeah,
if
Tommy
you
Cash
want to
does like
say
his stage stunts.
yeah, if you want to come clean, Tommy, we're right here waiting. That's what we want to know.
TS site
Um
are requesting.
Please do, yes. So yeah, so I think that was really, really good. Okay, and then just one last sort of question, I guess, just before we wrap things up. Now we know that Alice is going to Eurovision. How well do you think the song will do? How do you think it will stand out?
It's too early to tell. Don't know. I think because I need to watch like Moldova and the other two that I've just recently, so I'm gonna pair it up against Montesong. I think it would do better than Tamara, but I think they're both kind of very, they're not the same, but they're very similar in the sense that they're both like emo. They're both very like dark,
Yeah.
very like dark, like um styling and all that lot.
Hmm.
They're not emo in the sense of, crawling in my
Yeah,
skin.
just being like,
Sort
oh,
of thing.
My Chemical Romance.
Romance, Tumblr. No,
Yeah.
but they're in a way of like aesthetic, I think. So th
Hmm.
they do slot in quite well, but then I know that we have Viva Moldova now that's joined in, so we're getting a little bit of like different styles now. So
Yeah.
I think at this point it's like really too early for me to sort of tell what what's gonna do. I know that it could pair weirdly well with Malta, like Roses. I think I need to watch that national search, but Roses, like that pairs quite nicely with that one. So um yeah, so it's a very eclectic family they
Yeah.
have at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So we're just for context, we're recording this like on the Monday after Moldova's and Malta's selections. So obviously we now know that Satoshi is representing Moldova and Aiden is representing Malta. I
Mm.
think I think how you are right in saying that like it is kind of similar-ish to Malta in the sense that it is a man who is standing, who is basically having stuff spin around him. So they already have similar concepts. So I currently don't know which semifinals each ones of them are in, not off the top of my
Yeah.
head anyway. But if they are in the same semifinal, then they need to kind of be put kind of apart because we
Yeah.
don't want them to be too
They could
close, I
drown
guess.
each other
So
out. We could
yeah,
have a
exactly.
valid situation where they're just we could have the what was it, Montenegro situation and the Serbia situation where they're both trying to eat trying to like
Exactly. And then
battle each
like
other.
neither of them end up working in the end. So yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I'm excited. I think, it's kind of again showing another part of the Albanian music scene that they can do these
Mm.
kind of dramatic male ballads and stuff because I mean, men don't really go to Eurovision for Albania at the moment because they love a
Yeah.
pop girly. So, it's kind of nice that we get to have someone like as a man who's actually going. So like I'm
Hmm.
looking forward to seeing how that's going to go. Um, yeah. Any sort of final thoughts then, just before we wrap things up for Albania?
I think with Albania, I'm very happy with the decision. I'm glad especially that they've beat their streak of sending women, which sounds very weird to say. It's like
Everyone gets a turn.
gender equality.
Yeah. Gender equality.
Equality. But yeah. So yeah, no, I think I really enjoyed I always enjoy Vic, I think. Same to be honest, it's like Sanremo but shorter, so that's why I like it.
It's one way of saying it, yeah.
Yeah. Bite-sized San Remo a little bit. So I really enjoy, and I love how dramatic the Fick songs can get. The amount of times I add them to my playlist. It's like Fick comes along and I'm like, new playlist.
Yeah,
So
another one.
another one. Another one. So yeah, no, I think I really enjoyed it, and I'm interested to see how Nan kind of does in the sort of grand scheme of things and
Hmm.
how it's received by the I think what's interesting, I think it's been quite mixed, Nan. Some people really love it, some people really, and we can see here there's a bit of a mix. Some people really love it, some people really hate so it's going to be interesting to see how over time is there going to be like a general sort of love for it. Is it going to be the same like mix again? It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that as we go along.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'll be interesting to see how it's received and how long it will stay within the conversation before we start getting other songs, because
Yeah.
this is also a problem. We do have quite a lot of different songs that are going to be coming out now, and if that is also a problem, especially when you pick your song early,
Mm.
is that a lot of people will kind of get a little bit like, oh,
Oh.
do we still remember Albania? You know,
Next
like that.
one.
Yeah, like
Next,
so.
next, next treat.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes, I guess. But
Mm,
I'm intrigued and I'm happy that Albania sent something that they're happy
yeah.
with. That's the main thing. So yeah.
I feel
I,
like no matter what, the Albanians are gonna eat this up. We know that at
exactly.
least.
Exactly. And you know what? They probably have already eaten up and they've left no
True.
crumbs. So it's
Yeah.
okay.
No
So
crumbs.
yeah. Amazing. Right. Well, thank you so much for listening to us. It's
Well,
fantastic to just have a little chat, just a little bit about FIC and everything like that. What do you think about FIC this year? Please do let us know in the comment section down below. Also, feel free to check us out on all of our social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, Tumblr, all of it basically. All of that at that Euro site. Listen to the podcast as well. Get up wherever you get your podcasts as well. It's fantastic. And yeah, can't wait to see what's going to be coming now that we are officially within the Eurovision 2026 national final season. It's going to be a very chaotic time.
it's gonna be
So
insane.
it's going to be amazing. It'll be fantastic. Lovely. Right. Shall we say goodbye?
Yes. Bye
Bye.
bye.